Welcome everybody to another episode of the Creative Cosplay Corner. Today we're going to get right into our guest and what kinds and types of cosplay she brings to the cosplay community. I'd like everybody to meet Sassy Black Feline. Now that we know what the Sassy Black Feline has in store for everyone out there in the cosplay world, let's meet the face behind the cosplay. I'd like to introduce, I want to make sure I get it right, Lori. Lori to the show. Lori, come on, introduce yourself and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Lori. I go by Sassy Black Feline. I'm originally in New York, which is Manhattan, because there's 5 boroughs. So.
No, the boroughs. The 5 points, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think you're from New York. I love it. That says everything, right? I'm from New York. That's all you need to know about my background. I love it. So how about this? Yeah. Cosplayer, your level. I saw your level on your Instagram. I know what level you're at. What was it? How did you get into cosplay?
Well, the level is just basically my age. Into cosplay, I believe it was 2013 from an old boyfriend. And my first convention was New York Comic-Con, which everybody knows New York Comic-Con.
Huge.
Yeah, it's a huge convention. So I was it was like kind of like nerve-wracking. So my first cosplay that I cosplayed at New York Comic-Con was this character. She's from a video game called Mirror's Edge, Faith Connors.
Yes. I love Mirror's Edge. Okay.
Yeah, so since I really didn't have much knowledge of like cosplaying and all that, it was just a costume that was like put together just pretty much because it was a very simple character. So it was something that I could do because an old boyfriend at the time really wanted us to cosplay together and all that. So
okay.
Yeah.
So do me this though. So in that you said 2013-ish, 2014-ish. Now you got into it. It looks like you kind of got hooked because you've got quite a few now. Now you've got some anime. You've got some anime in there. You've got some video game characters. You've got the Mary Jane. So again, you kind of have quite a spectrum. What is it about it, a character, or why is it that you choose a character to cosplay?
The characters, like obviously you've seen, my whole roster is basically like video games and anime, and then some comics here and there. I'm not a huge comic fan. My boyfriend is much more of a comic fan than I am.
Okay.
But I choose these characters to cosplay to show that Black people like myself can cosplay. It doesn't matter your skin tone, your background, or anything like that. Because at the time, I believe it was 2013, 2014, 2015, there was this whole thing that, Black people can't cosplay character. Of course, it is still something that happens to this day. But, I want to be able to show Black femmes like myself, like, yeah, you can cosplay that character. It doesn't matter your skin tone or anything, like you can do it.
Well, so I appreciate that because 2020's been a hell of a year, not only society, not only politically, and I don't want to get into political, but society wise, but the power and I think the movement that's happening in 2020, it sounds like that obviously has happened for many, many years, but there's a lot more people on board with what's happening today than it was in the 60s, than it was in the 80s, even to the point where you just said it, even 5 years ago, you might have still gotten some of the pushback in the cosplay community. And you still get it today. I hope it's not as much. I mean, I hope that's not the everyday that that cosplayers are dealing with. I see a smirk on your face. Is it unfortunately that way?
It is. It doesn't really affect me directly. But I do see it happen to like my other fellow cosplayers as well. Like they get that, and then I would see it like on social media, like whether it's I'm like, yeah, like there is still racism in cosplay.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm the last person. I'm a 40-year-old white male that should be saying anything about the movement that's happening. I want to just let you know that as a platform, I support everybody and everyone and anything that he or she or they want to do, anything. And I love the fact that you said it. I'm just going to do me. And you said maybe it doesn't affect me too much, but I want to let other people know that you can cosplay anyone that you want. I think that's a pretty powerful statement and a pretty powerful tool to use that is such as cosplay. So you've got it. You've got Jade from Mortal Kombat, pretty powerful character. You've got, is it Launch? And I don't know who Launch is.
a lot of people really don't know who Launch is. If you're a full series, so this is before Dragon Ball Z with younger Goku. Launch was in this series, and she goes from blue hair to trigger happy blonde hair.
Yep.
And she wields a gun. So yeah, she's very obscure.
Another powerful character, it sounds like, right?
Yeah.
Trigger Happy Blonde. I've never heard that. I like that one. That's good.
Yeah.
And then there's another one, and I don't know this one either. It's a white, looks like a bodysuit with the gray. Do me a favor. Who is and what is that?
I think you're referring to she's 2P from Soul Calibur 6.
Oh.
But she was actually 2B as a boy from Nier Automata. Oh, that one. Okay, from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay. Yeah. So my bad. The white, it's a white. It looks like a blue. Oh, it is blue. I thought it was gray. It's blue. Okay.
Yeah.
And who is that again?
She's Rei Ayanami from this series, Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's an anime that's also on Netflix. It's been redubbed.
Okay. So, yeah. Is it any good?
I like it. Like you really would have to like pay attention to it just to kind of understand like the weirdness of it. But I loved it.
So it sounds like you said maybe not as much comics, but it sounds like you got a good grasp and you like your anime.
I love my anime.
You love your anime. I love that even better. You love your anime. Which one is your favorite and why?
Oh.
I know that's a tough question, isn't it?
Yes. Mine is hard because I love Sailor Moon growing up. Sailor Moon is my absolute favorite. And then after that is Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball. Not Dragon Ball Z. Like I love Dragon Ball Z, but I love Dragon Ball. And the Gundam franchise.
Ooh, yeah. That's the large Gundam. The large mechs, right? Gundam was is that Japanese?
Yes.
Yeah, well, anime is, but yes, my bad. But Gundam was when I was a kid. I remember we had Transformers in the States, and Gundam was huge in Japan. And it was like, I liked my Optimus Prime, but damn, that Gundam was really badass. I don't know what it was. We just could never touch that Gundam.
Yeah, I grew up on Transformers too. So I used to watch Beast Wars and Beast Machines. So
yep.
Yeah.
So then 2020 is kind of a wash. We understand that the cons aren't happening. I saw some movie events where you were out as Spider-Verse and you were MJ and all of your Spideys were all together at like the movie release or a movie event. What's that like? I think it was in one of yours. You had a bunch of the spiders. It looked like it was the Into the Spider-Verse 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. That was at New York Comic Con. I had went with my boyfriend. He's also a cosplay. He goes by Savvy Cosplay.
Oh, we're gonna have to tag that in here. We have to get a little side click as we go through. We'll definitely get him with you. Yes.
Yeah. So I went with him New York Comic Con 2018, and he was cosplaying as Miles Morales. We also went to it was at the Hulu theater, saw like I think it was like a 20-minute thing of the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. And it
Yes.
was like really huge at New York Comic Con. So he was so excited to see it because that movie was slated to premiere later on that year. So it was in
Okay.
December. Yeah. And then there was a Spider-Verse group thing that I was involved in at New York Comic Con. So I was just as Mary Jane. I wanted to go something simple, very, very simple.
You didn't want to have to put a whole bunch of mess into it, right?
No, I usually, like for me, like I like New York Comic Con, but ever since Anime NYC debuted, I believe it was in 2017, I was really hyped for it because New York City doesn't really have a huge anime convention, and I was so
Okay.
happy that I was at the Jacob Javits Center. So, yeah.
I like it. So it sounds like your passion is your anime. It sounds you're diverse. You do like some other of the realms and some other characters.
Yes.
It sounds like you pick some pretty powerful characters because I can imagine. Oh my gosh, Soul Calibur. That's the one where they got the weapons and the huge, ridiculous swords, and they're just kind of beating
Yeah.
each other up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got
Yeah. And
some
Mortal Kombat.
powerful, yeah, some powerful characters. I like these opportunities to meet. I love connecting the cosplay community. I myself, a very noob, I'm very just fresh into it, but I love people. I love creativity, and I love to see how hopefully we don't have a lot of the negative in the cosplay world, but we have a lot of that positive as well. So I'm really big on promoting just peace, love, and happiness. I want everybody to get along. I know that it doesn't always happen. There's always still assholes out there. I get that,
Yeah.
right? But I love the fact that we do have such great men and women, just such great cosplayers that bring so much creativity to the cosplay world. So they don't come here to the Creative Cosplay Corner. They don't come for me. They come for y'all. This is your platform. So between what we saw, we know what you cosplay and why you cosplay, but the characters you cosplay, is there anything you want to tell your audience that comes to this episode? You've got a platform to speak to the entire cosplay community. What do you want to tell them?
Yeah, so I basically want to say that cosplay is all about having fun and, meeting up with your friends as well. If you would want to also get involved in, doing cosplay meetups, there, especially in with local cosplayers, because there is a cosplayer I want to shout out. He's a New York Six Ranger. I feel like he brings a lot of cosplayers together, even those who have social anxiety. So even if you have social anxiety and you really want to, bring people together who have lots of nerdy interests, like, team up with a local cosplayer to maybe bring that into your community, or you can, start your own, but it's all about having fun. We're all nerds. There's no competition. We're all just here to have fun, dress up, and socialize.
I love it. I can't say any better. I usually try to do a wrap up, but when my guests put out what they have in their heart, I have nothing better to say than just say Sassy Black Feline really does want people to just have a good time, come together, and just be able to be a part of something. I think that's a beautiful outlook on life and a great community to do that within the cosplay community. So I appreciate you being here. It's been a wonderful time. I know we've been playing some phone tag and kind of lining up. I appreciate the back and forth and getting you on.
Yeah.
I had a really good time coming across your page. I love to see what it is you're doing, and why you do it now makes a big impact on me as I start to reach out to other guests. I understand that there's a lot more than just maybe an image, that there's something about that character, and you've got some pretty powerful characters that you've chosen to, obviously, if you need to, you can handle your business. You're going to do what you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. To everybody coming to the episode, I'd like to thank Lori, the Sassy Black Feline, for being here. I'm Cable Rose. This was an episode of Creative Cosplay Corner, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.